Good afternoon, sir, and good afternoon, classmates. Here is our report for the industrialization, uh, the Industrial Revolution and its impacts. First, I'm going to show you the timeline of the Industrial Revolution. There is that first industrialization. The first industrial revolution followed the proto-industrialization period. It started at the end of 18th century to the beginning of the 19th. The biggest changes came in the industries in the form of mechanization, and mechanization was the reason why agriculture started to be replaced by the industry as the backbone of the societal economy. At the time, people witnessed massive extraction of coal along with the very important inventions of the steam engine. That was the reason for the creation of a new type of energy that later on helped speed up the manufacturing of railroads, thus accelerating the economy. And the second industrial revolution. Following the first industrial revolution, almost a century later, we see the world go through the second, and it started at the end of the 19th century with massive technological advancement in the field of industries that helped the emergence of a new source of energy, electricity, gas, and oil. These were the energies. And the result of this revolution was the creation of the internal combustion engine that started to reach its full potential. Other than important points of the second industrial revolution was the development of steel, demand, chemical synthesis, and methods of communications such as telegraph and telephone. Finally, the inventions of the automobile and the plane in the beginning of 20th century are the reason why to this day the second industrial revolution is considered the most important one.
Another century passes, and we bear witness to the third industrial revolution. In the second half of the 20th century, we see the emergence of yet another source of untapped at that time energy, nuclear energy. The third revolution brought forth the rise of electronics, telecommunications, and of course, computers. Through the new technologies, the third industrial revolution opened the doors to space expeditions, research, and biotechnology. In the world of industries, two major inventions, programmable logic controllers and robots, helped give rise to an era of high level automation. For the fourth industry. For many people, Industry 4.0 is the fourth industrial revolution. Although there is a large portion of the people that still disagree, if we were to view Industry 4.0 as a revolution, then we would have to admit that it is a revolution happening right now. We are expecting it every day, and its magnitude is yet unknown. Industry 4.0 started in the dawn of the third millennium with the one thing that everyone uses every single day, which is the internet. We can see the transition from the final first industry revolution that rooted for technological phenomenon all the way to Industry 4.0 that develops virtually reality worlds, allowing us to bend the laws of physics. The fourth industrial revolution shaped the world. Worldwide economies are based on them. There are programs and projects being implemented all around the world focusing on helping people take advantage of the marvels of the fourth revolution during their everyday lives.
Three advantages or improvements of the Industrial Revolution. First is the locomotive. Locomotive is the any of various self-propelled vehicles used for hauling railroad cars on tracks. Next is the telegraph, is the ability to communicate across long distances, improved dramatically during The Industrial Revolution. It began with the invention of the electrical telegraph by Samuel Morse in 1844. This system allowed for messages to be transmitted much quicker and cheaper than old methods. Next is the electric generator. Electric generation is simply looking and a basic device built by Michael Faraday in 1831. Revolutionized almost every aspect of the lives of people all over the world. It is the first ever generator of electricity.
The socio-economic, political, and cultural problems or issues caused by the Industrial Revolution in China. Ako lang yung first. The first is the Opium Wars. The first attempt was made 1861 and 1911. It came on the heels of China's defeat in 1860 by the British in the Second Opium War. Deeply humiliated by unequal treaties imposed by the Western industrial powers, the Qing monarchy that was in control in China embarked on a series of ambitious programs to modernize its backward agrarian economy, including establishing a modern navy and industrial system. 50 years later, the effort in China turned out to be a gigantic failure. The government was deep in debt, and hope for industrial base was nowhere in sight. Si Clyde mga siguro.
A nationwide demand for political reforms, followed by social turmoil, ultimately led to the 1911 Xinhai Revolution. It overthrew the extractive Qing monarchy and established the Republic of China, the first inclusive government in China based on a Western style constitutions. The new republic tried to industrialize China by wholesale mimicking of US political institutions, including democracy and separation of powers, legislative, executive, judicial branches of government. At that time, a famous slogan among the Chinese was only science and democracy can save China. The revolutionaries of the educated elite believed that the monarchy's failure to industrialize and China's overall backwardness were due to its lack of democracy, political inclusiveness. The pluralism, exactly as the modern institutionalism theory has argued, but 40 years passed and China remained one of the poorest nations on earth.
Clyde.
In 1949, the republic was defeated by the Communist Peasant Army. The new government initiated the third ambitious attempt to industrialize China, this time by mimicking the Soviet Union's central planning model. 30 years passed and the effort failed again, and in 1978, China remained essentially in the same Malthusian poverty trap, with their per capita income not significantly different from what it was around the Second Opium War.
Uh, and these are the solution which engineers from our group's subfields have developed to solve the problems or issues.
First is the photo industrialization stage, which developed rural industries for long distance trade. Second is the first industrial revolution, which featured labor intensive mass production for the mass market. Third is the industrial Trinity boom, which involved the mass supply of energy, locomotive power, and infrastructure to facilitate mass distribution. And the fourth one is the second industrial revolution, featuring the mass production of the means of mass production, such as steel and machine tools, including agricultural machinery, as well as the creation of a large credit system. And the last one is the the welfare state stage, which incorporates economic welfare such as the modern service economy, unemployment insurance, equal access to healthcare and education, and a full-fledged social safety net and political welfare such as democracy, human rights, the end of the death penalty, and legalization of gay marriage.
Thank you. And thank you, classmates, for listening.